Welcome back to Pokemon XD. Lastly, we did the Purification Chamber, arrived in Pyrite Town, and found out that we need a little bit more time before Net can decode the data ROM. So it's off to find some wild Pokemon with us, but first let me just check my team, just to show you. So, I've got everyone to level 20, I don't know why Flaffy got all the way to 21, but yeah, I've got everyone at level 20, except for the Fish Slayer. The reason for this is, it's something that I noticed while I was training. Kavana is in the slow experience group, so it levels up slowly all throughout the game, so that could be an issue. Shroomish, on the other hand, is in the fluctuating experience group. This means it levels up very quickly at low levels, but very, very slowly at high levels. Now, this is probably going to be a good thing for me during the main game, as you don't see a big difference until in the very high levels, like 60 to 100, and you never really get there in XD, so it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, let's go to the Rock Pokespot and have our introduction to wild Pokemon. So, there are going to be quite a few new mechanics that I need to go over here. But thankfully this part of the game is pretty much designed to teach you the ropes here. And wow, you have a horrendously bad name. I'm sorry, but like even when I was younger, I thought that this was probably the stupidest name in all of Orare, and that is really saying something. Why? Why do you have that name? Anyway. So they're visiting Juking. And, yep, here's Juking. He's got himself a new hat in the past 5 years. And did he always have his moustache? Anyway, he actually has a unique model now rather than just being a bodybuilder. So he's been looking for wild Pokemon since before Colosseum, which is interesting. Or, maybe not, considering he's implied to be exaggerating here. Also, I really wish her name was actually Betty. That would be so much of a better name than it. Why? Why does she have that name? It's so dumb! Anyway, that's enough of my ranting. As it turns out, we have a willing volunteer right now, so yay, we get to be on TV! So, hi there. She's freaking out at there being a random volunteer in this. So, it's tutorial time on live TV. Okay, we need to go between the two. I really have no idea why she's so proud of her name. She really should just change her name to Betty. But anyway, here is how to attract Pokemon. You need Pokesnacks. Remember back in Pyrite Town, that old lady that Juking had employed and had decided to shut up in a cave is making those. So, these are the Pokesnacks we need to attract wild Pokemon. Dare I say it, in great numbers. So, now you have to put Pokesnacks here. You can put up to 10 on one spot. For now, I'm only going to put... Oh, let's just put 2. So they go around the circle in kind of like a pie shape. So now you just have to wait for a wild Pokemon. You'll get notifications on these... Well, actually, we're about to get what gives us notifications on these. The Spot Monitor. So, thankfully, we get a Spot Monitor upgrade to our P-Star DA. This lets us track how many snacks we have left at each Pokespot, and it'll also give us a notification whenever a wild Pokemon shows up, just like the notifications we get for Shadow Pokemon being ready to be purified. I still love that animation. And I think we now have our P-Star DA fully upgraded. We have every feature that we'll get over the course of the game. So there are 3 Pokespots in all, and we'll need to take a tour of all of them. So our next spot, well, next stop, I said spot anyway, but it's pretty much the same thing, is the next Pokespot. Also, he's saying mate a lot. Are they trying to make him into an Australian stereotype or something? After laying out the Pokesnacks, get away from the Pokespot and wait for a wild Pokemon to come along, mate. Sorry. I don't know why, it's kind of fun. Nobody in Australia really talks like that, but it is fun to do that. Anyway, I guess I can show you how the spot monitor works now. So yeah, it will show us that we have 2 at the rock spot, none at the Oasis, which is our next destination, and the third one is blank. We'll also get a little sort of radar blip if there is a wild Pokemon there. I believe the sort of size of the blip is how rare the Pokemon is, but if you get a really big flashing one, it might mean a separate event is occurring that is kind of a mini side quest that I'll talk about once it starts happening. For now, though, I just want to go over the types of Pokemon that can appear at these spots. So, every Pokespot has 3 encounters. A common encounter, which has a 50% chance of showing up, an uncommon encounter at 35%, and a rare encounter at 15%. I also want at least one wild Pokemon to show up, because the wild battle theme is amazing in this game. It's one of the funniest things in this game, in my opinion. So, here we are at the Oasis Pokespot. And it turns out Juking followed us here. That was fast. You don't happen to have a motor scooter or anything like that, do you? Okay, what's the favor? So, yeah, I talked about this before. What he's referring to are the rare encounters, and these are the 3 rare encounters. Trapinch from the Sand spot, Surskit from the Oasis spot, and Wooper from the 3rd spot that we haven't been to yet. Weirdly enough, none of these 3 are particularly that great as Pokemon in themselves. You might think Trapinch is good, but personally, I don't think it's that great in this game because it evolves way too late. I'll talk about it more in the bio. But, Juking says that he'll have a trade ready for us if we do catch these Pokemon. I would recommend checking these out. Juking's trades are actually very, very good. And I do mean very, very good. They all have some really good egg moves and TM moves right off the bat. Definitely worth your while. I'll talk about those at the end of this part, I think. So anyway, we have the location of the last Pokespot now. It's his favorite Pokespot. Yeah, you didn't say mate nearly this much back in Colosseum. Why have you suddenly turned into an Australian stereotype? I have no idea. Anyway, though, we put 2 Pokesnacks there, just, I don't know, just for the sake of... I might want to try and see if I can get the rare encounters. I want to catch at least some of these. Since there's no dex completion in this game, there's no reason to catch all of them, but they really help for the Purify Chamber. Anyway, there'll be something a little special for us at the 3rd and last of the Pokespots. Hi there! Remember these 2? They said they couldn't cause a ruckus back in Pyrite Town, but there's no one around here, so... Team Miror B, that'll be, interesting. Yeah, I can just imagine that now, all of them wearing disco outfits and having afros. That would actually be pretty amazing. So, they're already mentioning Miror B. Firstly, though, hi there, what are you doing? You're not trying to pull anything nefarious here, are you? Uh-oh. Yep, he's coming. Get ready for it. This is probably the moment you've all been waiting for. Of course, he arrives Afro first, and he's moonwalking now. Yep, this guy was so popular in the first game, they had to bring him back. It's the return of Miror B. Also, if you listen to this music very closely, it's actually his battle theme from the previous game. At least the same tune. As much as many people would like to say yes here, it doesn't really matter what you say, but I'm just going to say no. And now you're speaking in rhyme for some reason. And get ready for one of the most well-remembered pieces of music from both games. I just feel like I was obliged to let that entire song play out because, yeah, it's amazing. I love this song, and pretty much everyone who plays this game loves this song. Yeah, I actually think this is even better than his battle theme from the first game. So yes, Miror B is back, and he still has... Well, actually doesn't even have his Ludicolos. They're all just Lombres now. Like everyone, he's kind of gone down in power compared to the last game. I had Shroomish at the top of my party because I thought that I'd be able to try and show its catching prowess against wild Pokemon. And yeah, this is the exact reason why I didn't want to use Leviatine here. Because, yeah, he still loves Rain Dance. Let's see if I can take out these Lombres. Although I do have to be careful because I know that he has a third Lombre, but he does have another Pokemon that I'm very interested in. Ow! Critical hit Water Move in the rain. I still only need half my health though. Shows how weak Water Gun is, I guess. Stop ganging up on the bear! Well, I mean, I guess the other Pokemon has resistance to that, so it's kind of fitting that you're not attacking it, but still. And I get a completely unnecessary critical. Yeah, these things being 4 times resistant to water, yeah, my own Water Moves being powered up is not going to be that big of a deal here. And another Lombre! But his last Pokemon is something a little different. Haven't seen any Rain Dishes yet, although we might be seeing some Swift Swims. Guess I can use some of that Moon Milk that I bought. You know what? No, Super Potions are fine here. Oh, this song is so great. So, one thing that actually, no, wait, I probably will talk about how Miror B works after this. The sad thing is, if you play this game well, you will only ever hear this song 4 times maximum. You'll be hearing it a lot more if you do badly. What does that mean? I'll get to it after the battle is over. Speaking of doing badly, though, I want to be very careful of this Lombre. I'm just going to go ahead and use Return on the other one, because after I take out one of these Lombres, there... Yeah, I thought you'd be going for me. It's good that it didn't KO, but... Yeah, that's a lot of HP drain. Uh-oh, did you go for the double whammy there? You probably went for the double whammy, didn't you? Yes, you did! So yeah, that's a problem with using Kavana. Its defenses are extremely fragile, and a double target is probably going to take it out, so... Yeah, gotta be careful of that. Though, I was going to need to switch to Shroomish anyway, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that right now. Also, going to be resistant to a lot of his attacks, so that's also fine. Well, that wasn't a necessary critical. I'm glad for that. Yeah, see, look how fast Shroomish's experience bar is filling up. That's thanks to that, fluctuating experience group. But anyway... Yep, Miror B still has Shadow Pokemon. This time it's not a dancing tree, it's a dancing... Oh, actually, no, it makes perfect sense why he has a Voltorb. Just look at his afro. So yeah, now will be a great time to show off Shroomish's catching powers. So glad that's... Also, this thing has Shadow Rush too, like the 55 power one, not just the 40 power Shadow Blitz. Don't hit the Teddy, please. Oh, that was annoying. Should have realized Swift Swim. Yeah, that Voltorb is very, very fast. What I was in the process of saying, though, is I'm really glad that Electric types can be paralyzed in this generation, because otherwise this wouldn't work. But let's go ahead and cut this thing's speed down prior to be hit. Okay, good, we didn't miss, so that Voltorb is now paralyzed. The defending Pokemon is now paralyzed, to use trading card game terminology. Okay, no more rain. That's good. It'd be really funny if that Voltorb had Thunder, but obviously it doesn't. And you've come in a little bit late. Can't exactly Thunder Wave that thing now, but I suppose I can try and Thunder Shock the Lombre. While I go for the False Swipes against the Voltorb. Finally, you'll be seeing the reason why I chose to have this Shroomish on my team. And False Swipe is a lot more useful than it was back in Colosseum. Well, I mean, you could only get it in Colosseum by a trade, but... because Shadow moves don't have recoil in this game, there's no risk in lowering a Pokemon to 1 HP, unless they somehow manage to trip your Effect Spore and... well, I just tripped a status ability, but it wasn't Effect Spore, it was the enemies. But yeah, if they poison themselves with Effect Spore, yeah, that would be pretty bad. But, yeah, speaking of pretty bad, I'm doing really terrible damage with False Swipe. That'll obviously get better when Shroomish evolves into Breloom, but for now, I should beware of that Lombre, because it's going to be very, very fast. And you're going to try and Paraflinch me, aren't you? Yes, you're going for Paraflinch. I'm going to be very surprised if I even manage to get an attack in this turn from Shroomish. At least, so many unnecessary criticals in this fight. But yeah, look how fast Shroomish levels up. Well, it's more just in comparison to Cavado, who levels up very, very slowly. Yeah, I thought so. But for now, that rain is not really going to be doing all that much. Okay, I suppose I can try and catch that Voltorb now. I haven't even used any of my Great Balls, I don't think. But I'm also going to go ahead and use one of my revives on Fish Slayer because I want her to gain some of the experience from this fight. Being in a slow experience group, every little bit helps. Oh wait, no, it's already too late because I've already knocked out all the Pokemon that she would have gained experience from. I'm an idiot. Anyway. 1, 2, 3. Voltorb gets...
Listen up, cool cats. If earlier you did not pick Jolteon, you may think Voltorb is one you can rely on. But while Voltorb may move real fast, its other stats will sure not last.
I'm sorry, I'm not keeping that up any longer. Anyway, Voltorb and Electrode are the closest substitute you have if you didn't pick Jolteon earlier, being very fast electric types, and I do mean very fast. Electrode is the 3rd fastest Pokemon in the game at this point in the series, next to Ninjask and Deoxy's Speed form. So it's going to be going first almost all the time. But apart from speed, there's really not that much special about Electrode. Its special attack is only a pretty mediocre base 80, and its other stats aren't impressive either. But I suppose one thing that makes this Voltorb unique is it's the first Shadow Pokemon we get that has a new Shadow move, Shadow Panic. It's a confusion attack that targets both opponents, though it only has a 60% chance of hitting. Unlike Teeter Dance, the only other spread confusion move, it won't target your partner, so that's something, I guess. One other unique thing about it is that on Purification it replaces Shadow Rush with Mirror Coats, a move it normally wouldn't learn until level 49. While it does give it a bit of a unique niche, it's much better on more defensive Pokemon, and Voltorb and Electrode definitely aren't that. As far as level up moves go, there's really not that much. Sure, these two are infamous for self-destruct and explosion, but with only a base 50 attack stat, they're not very good at it. Seriously, I wouldn't recommend this. Electrode's attack is so low that Pokemon can survive its explosions, which is really not a good thing. Also, they don't even learn Thunderbolt or Thunder by leveling up. You need to teach those with TMs, otherwise your only electric option is Spark. Speaking of TMs, it's basically the standard electric type fare. Thunderbolt, Thunder, Rain Dance, Shockwave, Light Screen I guess is there, but you already learned that by level up anyway. Taunt is an option simply because of how fast Electrode is, making it one of the best taunt users in this game. And Thief is another special move, I guess. For tutors, Thunder Wave is very nice, and you can also go with Swagger for some Power Fusion. Overall though, if you want a fast electric type, you are much better off using Jolteon in this game. And even if you didn't pick Jolteon and want an electric type for your team, I'd recommend Ampharos over Electrode. Get it anyway for its magnet though, which will help either Jolteon or any other electric type you use. Well, I'm really embarrassed I even said that was really stupid. But anyway, He has a great fainting animation, as you'd expect. Oh, okay, Voltorb went into my party. Didn't expect that, but, oh well. No, it's this music, because the music changed a little bit. This music is actually his battle theme from Colosseum rearranged. And they're gone. However, now I believe, let me just try something. Yeah, it actually won't let you leave until you pick this up. So, remember that radar that the grunts were working on? It's ours now. And it came with instructions. Well, we already have a good idea of Trudley's intelligence if this is still intact. Yeah, so it's impossible to track him when he's not on the radar. So, okay, we're also getting an email. And we need to come back to Pyrite Town. Firstly, though, let me explain why this is even necessary to begin with. Well, of course it's necessary because you want to hear that music more and you want to battle Miror B more. But why is it so important to battle Miror B more? This is why. Remember how I said earlier how this game handles missable Shadow Pokemon differently to Colosseum? This is how that works. So, if you knock out a Shadow Pokemon that's from a trainer that you can't rematch, then, at the end of the battle, you'll be told that that Pokemon quote-unquote fled somewhere. What this means is that that Pokemon has been stolen by Miror B. And the next time you rematch Miror B, he'll have that Shadow Pokemon. Well, he'll always have one random Shadow Pokemon that you've missed so far. Of course, trainers who can be rematched, they'll keep their Pokemon if you fail to snag them, so this doesn't apply here. But there are quite a lot of trainers whose Pokemon can potentially end up going to Miror B. Like, for example, I think this Spinarak and the Numel. So, any of the Cypher Peons in the lab, you never get to rematch them. Their Pokemon will go to Miror B if you fail to snag them. Miror B can show up in a variety of different places. He can appear in any of the 3 Pokespots, and he can also appear in any of the game's Colosseums, such as Pyrite Colosseum. When he does, he'll replace the 4th opponent in that set of matches. So wherever you battle him, it's pretty much the same. He'll have one random Shadow Pokemon that you've missed so far. And this is what I was saying before about how, if you're diligent about always snagging every Shadow Pokemon at the earliest opportunity that you can, you won't get to battle Miror B very often. So, that's kind of a shame. I don't know if I'll be intentionally knocking out any Pokemon just to see Miror B more. I will say there is one time during the game that you are forced to wait for a Miror B rematch in order to snag a Shadow Pokemon, so we will be getting to see how the Miror B radar works at least once. So, that's how the Mirror radar works. Now, the moment we go back to Pyrite Town, something big is going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and just go to Gate and Port and just go to heal at the Pokemon Center because I want to get one of these wild Pokemon to show up. Because I have to show a battle with a wild Pokemon at least once in this episode because that music is amazing. If you don't know what it is, you're in for a treat. Oh, okay, there's an optional battle against this trainer. I'd forgotten about this one. Okay, going back to the Cypher Lab, these 6 are still here. And, their stupidity has gotten even worse. So, you can actually rematch them at any point, really. They don't even seem to realize that their lab has now been abandoned again. Oh, it seems like the receptionist actually changes her dialogue after the Pokesport situation. Actually, pretty much everyone back at the lab has something new to say after you appear on TV. That's pretty interesting. Okay, finally! Finally! Wow, that took a long time. Spot monitor is responding. Okay, let's check which spot. Cave, okay then. Which means I have a pretty good feeling which one this is, but I don't know, I might be wrong. Come on, game, surprise me. It was only one, like, radar ring, so it's probably just the common encounter. And what we have here, we have... Oh, that's an Aaron, isn't it? Yes, this music is actually a thing that exists. I don't know why, I just can't help but find this music hilarious. Anyway, I wanted this to show up because I wanted to explain how wild battles work. They're pretty much the same as they are in the main series games, but they have a few notable differences. Firstly, even though most battles in this game are double battles, all wild battles are single battles in this game. Also, you can't run from wild Pokemon in this one, because the run command has been replaced with call. You must either catch the Pokemon or knock it out, so that can get a little bit annoying if you're fighting a Pokemon that you, well, don't want. But I do kind of want this Aaron, so let's go ahead and actually, wait a minute. Using Shroomish would be a bad idea because False Swipe is 4 times resisted. Let's go for Flaffy. Also, this music is great. Something funny, though, is the only way to escape from a wild battle in this game is to use either Roar or Whirlwind or use Teleport. And this is the only time in the Ore region that Teleport works in battle. So let's just go ahead and Thunder Wave it to start. I'll just let you appreciate this music in all its glory. Okay, please, Thundershock, don't do too much damage. I do have a modest nature, I should bear that in mind. Okay. That's fine. I think that's fine. Don't want to use that again, obviously, but could go for Body Slam, even though that's double not very effective, and Aaron has pretty good attack. Aaron has pretty good defense. Also, that animation looks really silly. Yeah, that probably did almost nothing. I think I should start using Pokeballs now. I'm not entirely sure what Aaron's catch rate is. But anyway, you can throw Pokeballs just like in any normal wild Pokemon battle in the main series games. They also look a little bit different since you don't use the snack machine for them. 1, 2, 3. Aaron gets. And like I said, you can nickname them immediately, unlike Shadow Pokemon. But yeah, like I said before, I'm not sure if I'll be getting all of them, because, yeah, there's no real need for it, since they don't count towards completion in this game, unlike Shadow Pokemon. They do really help the Purify Chamber, though. For now, I'm just gonna go somewhere that has an easy Pokemon Center, which would be the Mount Battle area. So, with that, next time we'll be heading back to Pyrite Town to, let's just say that something that I foreshadowed earlier might be happening. So, I'll see you then. Actually, before I go, one quick PSA about wild Pokemon. They can be shiny in this game. If they are shiny, they'll appear shiny on the overworld as well, which is a pretty cool touch. So yeah, it's worth noting that, because in XD, Shadow Pokemon cannot be shiny, but wild Pokemon still can.